Dacha Hao, Wosha Michael Larson, Wosha Nieman Depungyu. Hello, everybody. This is Mike Larson from BBC IML, and this is A Moment with Mike. So I'm super stoked tonight. Last night I talked about all the things that I had gone through over the last 3 to 4 months, and all the trials and everything, and I got through all of that, and then I came to the end, and I posted my ad. I had the membership site and everything set up, and I posted my ad, and they rejected it. And I learned that this is something that happens with Facebook a lot, and I couldn't. It was a rejection for a political ad, and I'm like, political? I don't have anything political in my ad, or political or social, I guess is what it was. So the last couple of days I've been trying to figure out how to change that. And finally, I figured it out today, and it was just about a picture I had in there. Who knew? It just, I had a picture of some celebrities in there, and they said that that was socially unacceptable. So I wonder how the celebrities would feel about that. But at any rate, that's where it comes from. And the ad is going to be, is live on Facebook. It should be live on Facebook now. And it's about a time in my life that really, really changed my life. And there was a book I read, and it was, and I remember reading the book and trying to apply what I had from the book, and struggling with it. I just really didn't seem to change my life. I struggled with actually understanding the book. And the book was Think and Grow Rich. I was really disappointed in it. I didn't think that I really got anything out of it. And so I read a few more books, and trying to get a change in my life, because in my life at that time was shrouded in mediocrity and living check to check. And, you know, I made some good money, but if a disaster came up in my finances, I wasn't really prepared for it. And it really, it gave me that gut feeling of, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? So I wanted to change. I wanted to change in my life. And I'd had enough of that, and looking for an answer. And I read that book, Think and Grow Rich, and remember back to when, you know, I felt kind of disappointed in it, and it didn't seem to really get what I had a struggle with understanding it. So I read some other books, and you know, they were good. I learned some things, but not really enough to change what was going on in my life at that point. And then I had 3 friends that called me, and they wanted to have lunch with me, and so I agreed to have lunch. And I had a meeting that just before that lunch that ran a little long. It put me about 15 minutes late to get into that lunch. So I came in the middle of that conversation, and they were talking about this this book that had really changed their lives. All 3 of them, they were all talking about the same thing in this book that had really changed their lives. So I'm getting curious now. I'm wondering, well, what in the world? This is exactly what I was looking for. Was a book that would change my life. And they all of a sudden, one of them mentioned what it was. He said it was Think and Grow Rich. I'm like, what? Wait a second. I just read that book, and I didn't get anything out of it. So now, man, I'm a little embarrassed. I'm thinking, how come they got all this out of it, and I couldn't? And so I started to talk with them, and I asked them, you know, I read that book, but I didn't really get much out of it. What am I missing here? And all 3 of them said, yeah, the first time they read it, it kind of went over their head too, and they didn't really get it. And then they had listened to a podcast that had talked about the book, and how that you have to study this book. It takes time. It's not a type of book that you're going to get something out of it right away. In fact, there's a lot of books like that. But this one, you definitely had to take your time and apply what you could learn from it. And I said, okay, well, how long did it take you guys? And they said, oh, about 2 years. 2 years, really? And I thought, well, okay. So I don't think they're any smarter than I am. I certainly should be able to take what I need to out of this book also. So I changed my approach. I put this book on the shelf of things I wasn't ever going to read again, and I had to go pick it off that shelf, and I made a concerted effort to start reading this book and applying the knowledge. And I started to read this book and started to apply the knowledge. And as I'm reading this book and I'm learning from the knowledge, I'm learning how to use the knowledge right from the book, and it was an amazing experience. And as I applied, things started happening in my life. And I kept reading and kept reading it and kept applying it slowly. And over a couple of years, I first read it was about 4 years before that. And I had done a lot of things in that time, read a lot of books that didn't work out for me. So when I had this conversation with him, I had already known about the book for 4 years, but I started to apply the principles out of the way the book told me to apply the principles right on that book. As I'm reading, I'm learning and I'm applying, and it's making difference in my life. I'm starting to see changes in my life, and it was exactly what I was looking for in a book. And so every little bit, and to this day, I continue to read that book over and over again. I think I've read that book now probably 20 or 25 times. And every time I read that book, I get something new out of it. And I've created notes. And that's what I learned from it, was creating notes off of each chapter. And I'm always adding to those notes. And it's a study of life. And I've done that with other books now, too. I've studied the books and applying it to my life and taking notes and applying those. And that's really the greatest thing I got out of that book. But to this day, I continue to study it. And that's what this ad is about my story. And some things that I'm offering in this ad are my personal notes off of this Think and Grow Rich to help other people get what they should out of this. And then there's another offer in there too. It's another book, the living check to check is not a great way to live. And another book that was recommended to me about that same time that follows up well with this book is The Richest Man in Babylon. And it took principles that I apply to this day also. And I took what I learned from Think and Grow Rich and I applied it to this other book, and I made a study out of it. And I took each chapter and I took notes and I applied. And the things that you read in there, like, well, yeah, I can understand that, but it's something I had thought about before. But what you do with what you learn, with what you do with the money, and how you change your thinking on the money and how you apply the money is a huge difference in my life. So just 2 books that I've read, and that's what this ad is about, is talking about those books I read. So you can click on that link right on the Facebook and in my Inspired Motivated Leadership. And I invite everybody on this video and anybody watching this video to click on those. I'd appreciate that very much. And it's my change I want to give to the world is something that I learned very well, and it's done a lot in my life. So, but that's the excitement I had today. And then I was thinking about last year at this time, I was actually in China, and it was the first time in my life I had missed the fireworks here in America. And, I didn't think that would impact me that much when I was over there, but that was kind of sad to think that every year in my life, I had been at the fireworks, and that was the first time in my life I wasn't, and it was a big disappointment really last year. And it made me think about how we look back on things that we really love in our lives, and I think sometimes we take them for granted until they're not there anymore. And then you have to discover what's changed in your life. Is the new change in your life, is it for the better or the worse? What can I learn from the past, and what can I apply to the future. And, you know, I don't know that I ever want to miss that 4th of July fireworks again. It's just so many good memories that go along with that. And then I think about other things in my life that have changed, and you wonder if the change was for the better or for the worse. And we should analyze those things. And we should always try to grow from them. So these are all things that I've learned from that book, Think and Grow Rich. And that's why I'm excited about this ad that's going on. And it's the start of a lot of other things. And I talked a little bit about that the other day, about the things that I want to create from all the things I've learned in my life. I've got 16-step sales process, the whole RSTM package, Real Secret to Motivation. And Think and Grow Rich was a big part of that, and continues to be a big part of that. And other books that I've read are Tony Robbins' Unlimited Power and Unleash the Giant Within, and Entre Leader by, I can't think of his name right now, a little brain fart right there. But there's so many books that are good out there. Jim Rohn's got some good books a good book that I read, and there's Strength-Based Leadership, another good book. And all of those books that I read, and I took parts of all of them, and that's how I created Real Secret to Motivation, and look for that to be rolling out over the next few months. I see Chad is there. I appreciate you coming on, and Lynn and Gina and Zachary. And there was a few other people that were on just a little bit ago too. Sorry I missed you. But I thank you for coming on and joining me. Exciting day for me. I hope you guys get an opportunity to take a look at that ad. If there's something you'd like me to go over in future moments with Mike, message me with it. Something that you have, something you're struggling in your life, I'd love to be able to help you out. If it's something you want to share on here, of course. Or you can email it to me at mike@inspiredmotivatedleadership.com. And I hope you guys have a super fantastic evening. And we will see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And we will talk to you soon. Thank you.